I want to get into a little bit about these fake Jews perpetrating to be the real Israelites. All right, first of all, the word Jew it comes out of the derivative of the word Judah, okay, which was one of the sons of Jacob, which is the tribe of the so-called Negroes today, who are called colored, who are called black today. Those are all bywords and proverbs according to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Okay, so let's get into these fake Jews who say that they are the real Jews. Now, if they're the real Jews, why aren't they in captivity? Why aren't they serving thy enemies? Okay, why aren't they following? Why they don't have curses upon them? Why they are not afraid? And let's read some of the curses. Let's go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. If they're the real Jews, let's break this down here. Let's go from here. It says, let's start here. I'm going to start at the top. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do unto all his commandments and his statutes, which I commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now listen up, wait a minute. This is how I know they're not the real Jews. Because it says, cursed shall thy be in the city, and cursed shall thy be in the field. How are they cursed in the city and how are they cursed in the field? They got money. They're paid. They're rich. You know? How when they go in another city, they're not being oppressed? Now listen. Cursed shall thy be the basket in thy store. Cursed shall thy be the fruit of thy body. Why are their kids being killed? Why they got abortion clinics in their neighborhoods? If they're the real Jews. Cursed shall thy be thy kids. Why ain't their kids going off telling her to tell their parents what to do? Why aren't their kids doing that, but if they're the real Jews? Can anybody tell me? They can't, man. Because they're not the real Jews. Let's keep reading. In the fruit of thy land, in the increase of thy kind, in the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shall thy be when thou comest in, and cursed shall thou be when thou goest out. So that means when you die, when you're alive, you're cursed. When you go out, you're still cursed. Why aren't they? Because they're not the real Jews. Now let's get to another point. And I just want to read some of these real quick. It says, the Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, and all thy settest thy hand upon for to do, until thy be destroyed, until thy perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. Because of the wickedness of thy doings, thou hast forsaken me. Now let's go into a big part here real quick, because I'm skipping over it and to prove that they're not the real Jews. I'm skipping over it. I'm skipping over a few things, but I know that all of it doesn't fit them anyway. And I know they're not the real Jews, because we know the whole chapter doesn't fit them at all. But I want to skip over a few things. Let's go here real quick. It says, woo, this is really going to cut them. It says, this is 48. Okay. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shall thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until they have destroyed thee. So they didn't have any yokes of iron upon their neck. That's talking about slavery. They wasn't slaves, man. They wasn't getting hung by trees. Okay, they wasn't getting whippings on their back. They wasn't picking cotton. This is what this chapter is talking all about, man. About us coming into slavery. Because we broke the laws and statutes and commandments. So why aren't they the real Jews? Because we know that. Now let's keep reading. This is how I know they false Jews. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. The Romans, man. We didn't understand those. We didn't understand those Edomite Romans. We didn't understand them. Okay, we were speaking Hebrew. They were speaking Latin. So how the hell are they the real Jews? They speak broken Hebrew. They speak that Yiddish Hebrew. That garbage Hebrew. They don't speak the real Paleo Hebrew. That's how we know they're not the real Jews. That's Amalek. That's Esau's kids. Okay? That's how we know they're not the real Jews at all. Period. Okay? Now let's keep reading a little bit more here, man. Okay? It says, a nation whose tongue they shall not understand. All right? A nation of fierce countenance, fierce faces, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. Meaning they killed if you were old, you were young, if you were a baby, it didn't matter. So why doesn't that fit them? Give me the Apocrypha too. I'm going to go back into the Apocrypha. Now this is for you so-called Native Americans and you so-called Latinos too. Okay, because you came into captivity when we all came into captivity. When all Israel came into captivity. So for you to say that you're not a Hebrew Israelite, you're goddamn retarded. Okay, now let's give it to you this way. This is 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, verse 40. It says, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osea the king, whom Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive. And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen, and go forth into a further country, where never mankind dwelt. That's America. That's who you started calling. You started calling the Hebrew Israelites over here in America. This goddamn devil, he started to call them Salakia. He started to call them Indians, savages. They were the real true Hebrew Israelites. They were the northern tribe. Going back into the split in 1 Kings and 2 Kings between Jeroboam and Jeroboam and them, that was the split between Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and Ephraim all the way down to Issachar. So that's why they are the true Israelites. They were speaking Hebrew. Now they have a book out, I forgot the name of the book, where they brought a Hebrew interpreter over to talk to them when they were over here. And they put them in all types of schools. Once Esau conquered them, he beat them to death, took away their heritage, stripped their heritage from them, made them start speaking English, and do all this other nonsense, just like he did to us when we came over here on slave ships. You see? So that's how we know they're not the true Israelites, that they're not, those Jews over in Israel right now are not the true Israelites. Those Jewish rat bastards are not the true Israelites over there in our land. Okay? They're not the true Israelites over in our land. And I'm going to finish reading a little bit of this right here. It says that they might there keep their statues which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. Okay. And it says, for though that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, And the same region is called Asheroth. Asheroth means another country. Okay, that's talking about another place. Basically another land. Okay? So that's the thing that they are the real true Israelites. You so-called Latinos, Native Americans, you are the true biblical Israelites, and we know that those fake Jews overseas are not the true Jews. All right, let's go ahead and read some more on these fake Jews, and we're going to compare, because we're comparing the real Jews who are over here in America to these fake Jews that are over in our land right now. And none of these things that I just read in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, fit them to the T. None of it fits them to the T. It only fits the Israelites who are over here now in captivity still to this day. And the only one who's going to free us is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Yahushai when he comes back with the clouds. And those clouds are chariots and angels. The host. Lord of hosts. That's why it says Lord of hosts. Okay? Because he's coming with the angels. So let's read a little bit more on why this doesn't fit those fake Jews that are over there in our land right now. Okay? Now let's go down here to the 54th chapter. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Now, why they don't have issues with one another? Why they don't fight against one another? Why they don't leave their children? That's happening to Jake. That's happening to you Israelites, to you real Israelites. You don't want to be with your kids. You don't want to, because that's a curse that's a heavy curse the Most High put on your ass. He put on our ass a heavy curse, man. The Most High. That's why the Most High is no joke, man. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is no joke. You can't play with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. Okay? He's no joke. That's how we know that it does not fit those fake Jewish rat bastards over in Israel right now. That's how we know by reading Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. It doesn't fit any of them. Now let's read this here. Let's see about their women, because their women don't do the same thing. Let's go. It says, the tender and delicate women among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter, and towards her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and towards her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things. Now that's talking about our captivity when we had no choice but to eat our kids. Okay? But that's ultimately talking about how much hatred that our women have towards us. There's no hatred in that Jewish community towards one another, man. Okay, that means they're not a part of this curse here. Now the biggest one I'm gonna get right here, the biggest one I'm gonna get in Deuteronomy the 20th chapter, it really doesn't fit them, and this is how I really know that they are not, once again, the real Jews. Get me Deuteronomy, okay, 68. Deuteronomy 68. Okay. Actually, no. First of all, I'm going to start at 64. I'm going to start at 63. And I'm going to go all the way down to 68. I'm going to read all those verses right there. And that's how I know that they're not the real Jews. It says, and it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do good and multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And ye shall be plucked from off the land